What's good, beauties? I hope that you have been enjoying this month. I just want to start this video off by letting y'all know things are looking up in my life. Like everything is just going good right now. And I just wanted to express that, if you keep pushing forward and you keep putting your best foot, it'll all work out in the end. It may take you 10 years to get there if you're doing it by yourself, or maybe doing it with a partner, but it may take you a little longer. But sheesh, I just wanted to let y'all know that. So in today's video, as you can see, we're going to be doing a Hollywood glamour look. Yes, and I was super excited about this look, but as you can see, the video is over an hour long. So while I do my makeup, we're going to talk about my experience in growing up in church. The reason why I wanted to save this topic for a long video is because I really want y'all to understand, everything, about church and what it's like going to church, growing up in church, turning to God, all of that. I just want to take a video and just discuss it. So I hope you got a little time. Before we kick things off real good, let's go ahead and grab us some popcorn and get relaxed with us a drink, because it's gonna get good. So I know the number one question is, when did you start church? I started church as a toddler. This is before I could really just understand what they was talking about, all of that. I started church very young. Actually, how I started to go was while my parents worked, I went over to a babysitter's house, and this particular babysitter, she had a sister that lived in basically it was the backyard area. They still had a yard area, but she lived in a house behind hers. And her sister was really heavy. So on Sundays, she would take us to the church house with her. And every Sunday, faithfully, I sat on the second pew on the left-hand side of the church. So let's reel things back in. Do I believe in God as an adult? And, have I strayed away from my faith or anything like that? No, I haven't. I believe in God. My faith isn't low or anything like that. But what I will say is that, as you navigate through society, it does get tougher, especially if you weren't raised or brought up in church. It could be really tough for you to, have experiences with God, or even just really believe in him, or, probably think people are, crazy to believe in him. Our people are, cursed, all of that when you dig deep into the Bible. But in order for you to really understand your history, in order for you to understand who you are as a person, in order for you to heal yourself, and when I say heal yourself, I mean you can truly heal yourself using the power of the word, using the Bible. So it's very important that I make this video. It's very important that you guys understand how important it is to have a relationship with God, and also to know that Jesus is your Savior, that he died on the cross. If you read the Bible, then you would know that there's some things about Jesus that they present to us in society that's a little bit different than what the word says. For example, how Jesus looked, how they present him to us, as a European Caucasian man. That's definitely not how Jesus looked. And I actually saw a video I think I was just on YouTube one day, not doing research or anything, and I saw a video and they were talking about, the white Jesus that we have to look at. If you do your research, then you would know who that painting is. So, another thing, the Bible doesn't really talk about Jesus being hung from the cross, but that's a different, topic. We're going to touch a little bit in it, and I'm going to hop back into my experience in church. But the Bible doesn't talk about, Jesus being hung from a cross, but they talk about him being crucified and hung from a tree. So when it comes to Black people not believing in God and not believing in Jesus, you need to take time and read your Bible and get to know it, and get to know it very well, because your truth, your history, your story lies within the Bible. I know, it's hard to believe sometimes. You continue to walk right even when you see people doing evil. And I say that because something small may happen in your life and you why did this have to happen? Like for me, something small happened in my life the other day. I broke my laptop screen, my HP. I love that laptop, on that laptop every day, and I broke the screen. That's something small. That's something so small, because there's somebody out there who got diagnosed with, cancer today. I'm just using that as an example. God bless them or whatever, but it's just, you have to be thankful for even the little things that you go through, because being evil and not, having a good spirit, not having a connection with God, you may feel like that, you're getting further or getting away with stuff. You're not. It always comes back to bite you. And, you're never going to be able to feel completely healed if you don't wrap yourself in a loving, situation. And when I am in a loving situation, I'm always including Jesus, and I'm always including, God at the center, because when you don't, it's just the evil relationship. And, people gonna be who they want to be, but you want to have your energy and your mind frame righteous. So let's get back into what it was like growing up in church. So the fondest memories that I have at church is just like a picture book that I could just flip through, and just pour out memories from just pictures for you guys. Something that always haunted me growing up. One time I was in Sunday school, and I think his name was Pastor Webb. If I'm not mistaken, I really truly believe his name was Pastor Webb. He was an assistant pastor, but he wasn't there that long at the church. But he became the Sunday school teacher for my age group at that time. And I couldn't have been no more than maybe 10 to 12. And he told us one time in Sunday school, when you think about doing something, it's just as bad as doing it. He said, if you think about doing something, you might as well go out there and do it. And really, that doesn't really make sense until you're an adult. Because your thoughts and your actions rule your reality. Manifestation is real. And when you're thinking about doing something and it's not righteous, you're literally manifesting, that negative energy. So I just wanted to share that, because that's something that is staying to my memory. I can't forget it. It's a really, really deep lesson, that we all could learn from. Something else that was really important growing up in church is that my church in particular, before I even hop into what something that was really special and important for us as youth, let me hop into my church, the background, all of that. So I was a member, baby, on the roll, gave my money faithfully to Mount Zion Missionary Baptist Church. I'll never be able to find a church family like this again. No matter how much I search, I can't find the quality of the people. It was just so nice. It was a nice experience growing up, and I really, really loved the experience. I have nothing bad to say about Mount Zion at all. Besides, I wish that I could go back and, just stay active, instead of, going to college and leaving home and stuff like that. Because when I think about Mount Zion and I think about what they did to my spirit, and when I view particular people that, was in my life growing up, it's almost like a pull. Like I can't even really just want to stay where I'm at. It's like I want to get up and pack all my stuff and go back home and just praise God. And I know that's like crazy. I know that's crazy to say. You don't really hear people say that often, but it's just, you didn't get that same experience that I did growing up with these women and these church leaders. Let me go back to the experience that I was talking about. Something that they did for us. They did a True Love's Weight program for us where they basically showed us, the STDs and what they do, how it looks, all of that. We did this in the gymnasium at the church, and we all got a certificate for True Love Weights. And it was a really wonderful experience. It was on a Saturday, and it was different. Like, it's something that I can't forget or whatever. But I'm going to say at that point in time, like, they probably could do that better with young adults, like people between the ages of like 18 and 30. Because, True Love Weights is not just for, a child or a teenager. That's for people who are grown adults too. So True Love Weights, it was very, very interesting. The reason why I say that they should do it for older people too is that at that age, yeah, you're thinking about True Love Weights, but it just goes, out the window, and, you start thinking about other stuff and you put it towards the back burner. But a developed mind frame, like at 23, who may have experienced some things, some traumas, some issues, they may need God a little bit more, at 23. And, they may need to hear that lesson about True Love Weights, waiting to, before you do anything to get married, making sure that you're living a righteous life and righteous in the eyes of God. I'm going to just tell a brief story that I will never forget about church. So, as a child, I couldn't have been no more than like 5 or 6 years old. And I told y'all I sat on the second pew on the left-hand side. And one Sunday, I just really felt like an urge to get my pastor's attention. And I really just wanted, to just tell him, how much I loved him, how much I cared about him, and how much he meant to me. Nobody told me to do this. And what I did was I turned my envelope over on the backside, and I wrote in, how much I cared about him and stuff. And at the last line was, I'll never forget, I love my pastor. And like 2 Sundays went by, and I only put $1 in church. My mama only ever gave me $2 as a child, $1 in Sunday school, $1 in church. But after his sermon, he was in the pulpit, and he, in front of everybody, he told everybody what I had wrote on the back of the $1. And it made him feel good. And, even as a child then, like I told you, I was only like 5 or 6. I felt so good that, Pastor Granville had noticed me and had called me out, from the congregation, because it was huge for me. And he basically told everybody and told him that my last line was, I love my pastor. He read the note out, and he told me he was going to never spend that $1. and it meant so much to me. So I say that story to say, I think that's the reason why they had me and my friend Taja count the money after Sunday school. I'm not really sure if this even played a role or a part in that or whatever, but I was one of the, it was only two of us and then the grown secretary, and we counted the money after Sunday school. And so it was just like, that's a huge role to have too, because there's only a small amount of people that get to do it. And so I was chosen. I was blessed. I was lucky enough to do that. And so that meant a lot to me. But that's just one of the roles that I played in church. Some of the other roles that I played outside of counting the money for Sunday school. I sung in the choir. I sung soprano, but sometimes I would sit with the altos if I could get away with it, because my friends were all altos. And I did drill team, which is like the military form of church. You know, you learn about the books of the Bible. You learn about different scriptures. Is really structured. And then with drill team also, we would go to different places and perform. And then during the summertime, they had like a drill camp sometimes where we would go and compete, like a Bible book camp. It was fun, but the competitions were always really, really tough. But honestly, for a child to be, competing and learning scriptures and stuff, I think that that's wonderful. And then I also did praise dance. Praise dance was so fun. We had our leotards, our nice skirts. We always did, like, we never had to pay for it. That's a blessing. Our dance instructor, Miss Cheatham, she always made us do fundraisers to pay for our costumes, and we would go do like bake sales and stuff like that outside of Walmart to raise money. And then not only did we raise money for our outfits, we raised money to go places. Like, we went to Blue Bayou one year. We went to camp. Let me slow down, because camp is also something that I want to dive into. But let's go back to praise dance. Praise dance was always fun. It's something that I always felt like so passionate about. I always loved getting in front of the congregation or practicing on Saturdays with my friends. And those are lifelong friendships that you don't want to lose. You always want to have that bond. And I honestly am so blessed to have like those ladies in my life. Like, no, I don't talk to them all the time or often, but as long as we're in contact with each other, I feel like that's enough. That's fine for me. So praise dance, drill team, counted the money after Sunday school, choir, usher. So on first and third Sundays, I ushered. So what I do when you usher, so when you stand up during church, and you stand up about most of the service. You don't get to sit down. You stand up. And if someone needs anything, like a program, or if someone needs, like, someone is getting happy about God, they happy about life, they feeling good, they get the shouting, the dancing, or anything. If they need water, tissue, a fan, anything, it's your responsibility to get them what they need. So that was something that, it was a big role, a big responsibility. And so I got to do that. But you know what? Those are some of the titles that I held younger in church. As a older lady in church in the future, hopefully I'll be able to serve as like a deaconess in church, because there's something so filling. And like I said in the beginning of this video, when I think about, Miss Cheatham and, how she, spent time with us and loved us and, did praise dance and drill team with us, it actually like make me want to, it just like a soul gravitation pull back. So now that I told you some of the things that I did, in church, let's talk about why church is important as an adult. So I feel like that church is important as an adult because, and let me correct what I just said. I said church is important. Not church as in the building, or reporting to a place. Church as in the word of God, being involved in the flesh. Why is it important? Well, it's important because when you go through those big situations in life, the sticky ones that you don't know how you're going to get yourself out of, you're facing, repossession, you're going through, a sticky situation in your marriage that you don't even know how you're going to fix. You don't know how you're going to get out of it. If your marriage is even going to work after it, you've let somebody into your comfortable space. You felt vulnerable and you've done things unprotected, and you don't know how you're going to be able to fix anything or come back from, a situation. Any situation that you go through in life, it's just always best for you to turn to your creator, the person that ultimately oversees your life. Like, I can't express to you enough how many times I've been in serious storms and it was the only way I could get out. And you can't just feel like that because it's not happening right away. Or I'm going to stop praying. I ain't going to worry about it. I ain't going to focus on it. No, you got to keep going. You got to keep your best foot forward, and you have to keep focusing on the things that are going to make you successful, the things that are ultimately going to change your life. You are a part of the body of Christ, and you are a part of his legend. You're a part of the Israelites, and you have to understand that that's a sacred title. That's something that everybody doesn't hold. And you're not going to go out there and do the same things that other people have done. You're not going to have the same things as other people until you break those generational curses embodied in God. And when I say that, you can't go chase things that are unholy or live an unholy life, on the internet, do all of these things and then expect, just to be blessed in general. And blessings are not just monetary, that you might feel like, oh, you're looking at this person and they got so much money and you feel like, oh, they more blessed than what you is. They're not. Money is the root to all evil. Money, we all want money. And if I could have, an endless amount of money, I would. Trust me, we all want it. But when you think about the reality of the people at the top who actually got a lot of money and what they do with their time, the energy that they give off, like, it's just, do you want to live that life? Or would you rather live like a different life or settle for a different life, so you can have peace? And that doesn't mean that you won't have money. It just means that you may have a little less, or you may not just pick the same career as the others, So with that being said, please, please, please understand that although Black people did go through slavery, we are still God's chosen people. But you have to break your generational curse. Embed yourself in God no matter what you go through. I know for me, there's a lot of things I could turn to God and just be like, oh, you didn't give me this. You didn't give me that. My life would have been so much better if I would have just had this one thing. And honestly, I could get mad and I could just, just be angry and not acknowledge God or not acknowledge, the things that are happening in my life or nothing. But I think that I truly will find my happiness and my joy in my kids and, taking care of them and giving them things and watching them, as an adults make their life decisions and supporting them. That's really is what's going to bring joy to me. And, getting married, pleasing my husband, being submissive to my husband, and just remaining a very classy and indigenous. So let's get back on track. So we're talking about church. So some of the other things that I really enjoyed about church was like Vacation Bible School. Vacation Bible School was so huge. Like every year it was just something to look forward to. I didn't miss a day. They always fed us. It was always, when I say fed, I mean like fed in the spirit, although they did have food. But they also just like had just like, it was just like a fun environment, and all the neighborhood kids came or whatever, so it was just fun. We also we did camp one year. I don't know if any person ever heard of Clear Camp, but it was so fun. I will never forget Clear Camp. We had a blast. It was so many different things to do. So it's just, it's different, it's different. It's not a typical, like, camp where you just run around playing. We did different things. Like, we did kayaking. We went swimming. They had us like in different classes. Like we had arts and craft. Like there was different things that we could do and we could just go and choose or whatever. And it was unisex. We had so much fun. So another thing that we did at church was the youth retreats. So the youth retreats were fun. They were also over the summer, but this wasn't Clear Camp. This was the retreat, which was something different. So they also had different things like state conventions and when different churches came together, revivals where, they would have pastors, different pastors come in and have different nights, where they preached. And church is very, very fundamental, as an adult. A lot of people don't want to go. They don't want people in their business. They don't want that life for them or whatever, but it's worth it. It's a very fulfilling relationship. looking at the people that I went to church with, the church family that I established, growing up, I just wish that I wish that, we didn't move, or no person, left. To be real with you, my church ended up breaking up after I left. About, I think, 2 years after I left. Well, let me rewind. The pastor of my church died. He passed away. Rest in peace, Pastor Donnie Granville. He's forever missed. He was the best pastor, a child could ask for. And after he died, they don't just give the church to the assistant pastor. There's a lot in place. Like, we had CDs for the church, stuff established with the bank. We had added a life center to the church. The church got an apartment complex, like a little sub, like a duplex type subplex, because it's multiple of them for older people who couldn't afford housing. Family life center. Like, it's just, I love that church. And they don't just give it to the assistant pastor. So we ended up having like 4 pastors come in and try to get the church. And after a few months, they each basically got up there and did their sermon, and us as the congregation voted on who we wanted the pastor to be. Child, it's a lot of older people that were in that church, and they chose an old pastor, which is nothing wrong with that. But it just didn't work out. A few years down the line, people was getting into it. I know, they had a fight up in the church with 2 people that I had grew up with, slapping each other up in church, and they ended up splitting. The congregation split. So half the congregation went to Garden of Glory, and that was pastored by Emil Jones. What happened there, but now it is pastored by Dale Sanders, which was actually my youth minister. And Dale was such a good youth minister. He wasn't always my youth minister. I had Greg Williams at first as my youth minister. And Mr. Greg was so nice, and he was always really loving and sweet. And, he was a good youth director. We went on hella trips. He was our youth director when we did the bake sales, when we went on hella trips, Six Flags, Blue Bayou, and I can remember one time we actually went on a special trip. He was dating this lady named Joanne. She was really special to me in church. And one day, Joanne told us, we're going to go and we're going to take y'all to Blue Bayou this weekend or whatever. And they took us. So it was me, Portia, Miss Joanne's son. His name is Malik. And then also her daughter, Maya. So yeah, that was amazing. It was fun. There are so many great, wonderful memories and experiences, from this time period in my life that I am forever thankful for and will always value and appreciate. And even to this day, when life not going right and, things going bad, even when things are going fantastic, because as of now in my life, things are going very, very well. I can't say that anything is so bad that I just have to vent about it or anything. Everything is just going good. I just need to continue to invest my time in the things that I feel like are going to be fruitful. And so with that being said, I find different ways to dedicate my time to God. Just recently I bought a coloring book, which I know may sound childish, but it's not. It's an adult coloring book. I bought adult color pencils. I have adult crayons, and I feel like that's a great way for me to dedicate my time to God, because not all the time do I want to read my Bible or be just embedded just into the Bible. So that's just a creative way to just dedicate more time to Him. And I can say that recently,
I just been had some great things happen in my life, like, and I've actually like had a friend that just recently, like, we are not speaking at the moment, but with that being said, this particular friend, I really love them, and just like with their just like energy alone, just like talking with them and stuff, I feel like that I've accomplished like so much. And I just have to thank God for my friends, for my support system, and even in times or triumphs where we aren't seeing eye to eye or we get upset with each other, that I know like things will be back on one accord. And that's what I love about life, and that's what I love about my life, that my people and the people that I love and really cherish and care about, we for life. And so I just like really want y'all to establish, like, when in your relationships, in your everyday relationships, make sure that you still include God at the forefront. Because when you include him at the forefront of your relationships, it doesn't matter what your relationship go through or what happens, in it, is you're gonna come out succeeding. And sometimes a cut off or like letting somebody, go is not a bad thing. Like right now in the season that I'm in, I need to focus on some on bigger issues, like, not just like being in my emotions or just like anything like that. And see, the best thing about having, a spiritual relationship with God and sharing that with your partner, like y'all could, or not even just your partner, like a friend group, like, Bible study, anything. When you share this with somebody else, that's something that's very sacred, and that's something that God, like, really, he loves to see, and he will bless you. And I honestly can say that I am blessed tremendously. Like, I'm actually like still not where I want to be completely, but if I could tell you like the things that like I really have growing right now, and how festive like I feel like the rest of this year is gonna be, like, in the humblest way possible, because I'm not talking about like, planning big trips or doing, a whole bunch of etc. I'm just talking about like just like being and grounded and focus on the things that I really need to focus on to make sure that I'm pushing myself to, a better position, and pushing myself to, be in a better place by the same time next year. We all want to grow, but we all got to focus on the things that are really going to truly get us to where we need to be. So, first and foremost, having a relationship with God, having him at the forefront of my life, making sure that no matter what I go through in life, no matter, who I come through, no matter who I have to interact with, that I still have to keep him in the forefront, because you're going to go through people that's going to make you really question, is this, is God there? Like, it's people that will really make you question, like, why do I have to go through them, because I shouldn't have. But that's why one thing I feel like church taught me is to never give up on my relationship with him, because in those dark hours, in those times where you feel like you have nobody, you feel like, what you're going through, you're alone, he is there. And no matter what you go through, you can read your Bible. That's from anything. You're going through a divorce, you're going through, anxiety, you don't know how you're going to make your finances meet, you don't know how you're going to, take care of your kids, you might be a single parent, and God is the best way, to go through. He's always there to listen to you. He's always there, to make sure that your next step going forward is the best one. And none of us are perfect. We all have things that, we just need to continue to work on, push towards. But with that being said, as long as you're getting up every day and putting your best foot forward and making sure that you're doing everything that you need to do to put yourself in a better position, whether that be on your job, with your kids, with your mate or spouse or significant other, or for, just pushing for bettering, like, life in general, fitness, your business, how you're gonna just maintain life, or you're gonna get a second job, because some people, a business is not for them. School, college, are you finishing up on your degree? Whatever it is that you feel like that's gonna push you to the next level and push you to be the best that you're gonna be, make sure that you're incorporating that into your prayers, and not just asking God for money, or not just looking at the people who have money and feeling like, oh, I don't have, because you have to incorporate everything that you're going through in life, like, with your prayers. And so that's something that I, like, am really good at, is making sure that I incorporate everything that I'm going through in my prayers. Something else that I feel like that church taught me that I really use in my everyday life is to always just be nice and courteous to others. Like, I know that at times, like, it's like things can seem like it's one way, and it's not. It most times, 9 times out of 10, what your brain is telling you, or how you're really portraying something, is not what you think it is. And so, like, I know recently, like, I had, like, I had someone, like, question me about, like, an action that I made, and they feel like, it was wrong, or I wasn't being considerate, but I had to really explain to them, my heart and how I felt, and the reason why I did that action. And I feel like that, sometimes you just gotta let people know how you feel. If you don't let them know how you feel, or if you just leave things lingering or on the table, it's always going to be like a misunderstanding. And so, having that sound and solid relationship with God, actually, you could give that to your kids, or if you don't even have kids, involve yourself into a community where you can feel active, and you can get that love, or show that love to kids, or through Christ. Speaking of showing love through Christ, one thing that I really enjoyed growing up was our praise dance and drill team outfits. The drill team outfits that we had were so cute. They were like a little mini military outfits, except they were blue, and they were 2-piece sets that we had, and it was just so cute. Like, we was like little soldiers in the army for God. And it was just like having that experience, and going through just all of that. I feel like that when I pray to God, I'm very much connected to him, and I very much can reach him on a spiritual level. And I'm just so blessed and thankful that I actually have that or whatever, because if you're not wholehearted or genuinely hearted, it may be a little bit harder for you to connect with God, or you may find yourself pulling away from God when people try to pull you closer. And so you have to be genuine. You have to be genuine in your actions. You have to be genuine in your work. You have to be genuine in, what you try to sell to people, how you try to, live life, all of that. And I say, for me, I'm genuine in my life. There's nothing that I feel like that is just. One lesson that I really want you guys to understand that I learned, throughout life or whatever, is that having, monetary value does not equal being a good person. There are people walking around that have money that are not good people, that do not worship God. And you really need to understand the anointing that you have to put over your life to be able to maintain a good foundation and an atmosphere. You don't want to get the bag, and fumble it. You don't want to get the bag and, when I say fumble it, I mean some people, because they don't worship God, God will, I mean, you will see them with money. You'll see them with money, but you won't see what they had to go through to get it, or you won't see the pain that they are physically in, emotionally, physically, like it's detrimental, like, to your brain and everything. So you have to remain steadfast, and you got to remain focused that, yeah, money comes with a whole bunch of other stuff, and if I don't ground myself and surround myself with God, then I probably will find myself under, and not like, I won't find myself like being blessed, or having myself being fruitful and enjoying the fruits of my labor. Like, you won't see that because you have not really just contributed, your time, your effort, due diligence, all of that, what you need to God. And so when you feel it, when you want to be really anointed, but you're not a genuine person, then you just gotta pray more and embed yourself more into him. Like, I feel like the coloring book that I was talking about, like, that may seem like something that's really simple and really just like not something that would keep you, like, focused, but it's something that you could add on additional to, like, what you already got going or what you already reading. And I know sometimes, we be busy, we may find it hard to, like, even just pick up a Bible or anything like that, but you got to make the time. Like, you going out here every day out into this world, out into all of this evilness, and you got to protect your mind, body, and spirit, because if not, you're not going to be focused. You're not going to be able to remain focused and be able to, continue to grow, like, and accomplish all the things that you need to accomplish. You're going to be out here just living a life that is not God-filled. So in conclusion, I just want to say thank y'all so much for watching my video. And I just wanted to make this video because I had made a previous video expressing, like, some other stuff, and I kind of felt like I got a slight negative backlash on it from some people. And so I just wanted to shine light on some positive aspects that I feel like that I went through, or have been going through, as a woman and as a young adult as well. And so, just to clear the air, I just want y'all to know, like, life is going good. Everything is rolling. Like, everything I feel like in my life right now is just going good. I don't have any complaints. I don't even feel like I have any worries. I feel like that I'm going to just keep accomplishing things, keep accomplishing goals, and that's a good feeling. And I'm happy to be in this space because I didn't always feel like this. And so I'm so happy. I feel really good. I feel blessed, and I just want to keep, having my best foot forward and pushing myself to do the things that are going to get me to the next level, and not stay stagnant in life or feel like that I got to stay in the same position or do these same things to be able to feel successful. With that being said, I hope the same for you. I hope that everything is going good and that you focusing on what you need to focus on to succeed, and you're not out here playing or BSing in life. We only get one life. And, I've just even been envisioning myself lately as an old woman, doing other stuff to, like, even accomplish even more. Like, I'm not ever gonna give up, like, on goals, ambitions, on dreams, on accomplishing things. Like, I'm gonna keep pushing and keep accomplishing things for life. I'm not ever gonna give up. And so I hope that you don't ever give up on the things that are gonna make you successful and gonna make your life fruitful. And I hope that you can come into partnership with different people and network yourself to the top, to where you feel like, you have a successful circle, and that ultimately, like, you've won in life. And so, that's the ultimate goal for all of us, I feel like. And so, first and foremost, like, having a great relationship with God. Thank you guys, and I definitely can't wait to make my next video for y'all.